Welcome to Localite, everybody. Thanks for joining me. You know, the Gorge is one of those places. Obviously, it attracts all kinds of people, and it's a very unique place. But, you know, we have so many different guests that we get to bring on the show. But I gotta say, one of my favorite genres of guests is artists. Artists always have such an interesting perspective of the Gorge. And with me today in studio is an artist that many of you are probably familiar with. If you don't know who he is and you haven't seen him out at a social gathering or mixer or something, you've definitely encountered his work. So I'm speaking, of course, of Mark Nilsson. So Mark, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you, John. Glad to be here. It's exciting.
Well, it's great to have you on.
It's awesome.
So let's kind of like just back up a bit with, you know, you do artwork that's often considered very whimsical. Mm-hmm. And these whimsical pieces of art can be seen all throughout the Gorge and even beyond. In fact, very beyond, London and other places.
Right.
But let's talk about specifically the stuff here in the Gorge.
Sure. Well, the whimsical style, I guess, is something that I'm known for here. It came about when I did a house portrait for a couple in town. And I did this painting of their house, and it was kind of a simple little house. And I thought it was going to be a really boring painting. So I was like, let me just take artistic liberty and just change this. And I'd seen this done before, so I'm not the first to tweak lines in a painting or whatever, but I just made all the lines go curvy and whimsical, and it just turned out great, and they absolutely loved it. And so that led to lots of other work in town, the murals and poster designs and things that I've done with this style. So I am really known for this style, although I do several other different types of styles as well.
So, and this, obviously, adults are hiring you to do this, but this has a huge kid appeal as well.
Kids love it.
Yeah.
Kids love it. But what I found when I do art that's like fun for kids, grown-ups love it. The grown-ups just love it. And the whimsical style is probably my best selling because of that.
Okay.
And I just think people, they just like happy, fun art.
Yeah.
Times are tough. Life is hard. It's nice to throw some whimsy in it.
Right.
So, but the kids love it too. They just go nuts over it.
And you've got stuff, specifically speaking of kids, you did some stuff at the, it's like a dentist that's...
Yes, the Kids Zone.
The Kids Zone,
Dr. House's Kids Zone. Yeah, he came to me and he said, I love your work. The style would be great for the dentist's office. And he basically gave me free rein to go to his office there in Hood River and just start painting. So that in the waiting room in particular, it just has this large mural that's indicative of the Gorge and just lots of things going on. There's dogs and there's just really, really fun.
Yeah.
And it's one of those jobs, he just wants me to just keep painting, just paint every room.
Are you still doing it?
Yeah, it's kind of ongoing.
Really?
Yeah.
So talking about kids, now when you were a kid, you were interested in drawing, and how did that develop?
Well, I was always drawing, and I don't always necessarily remember doing it. My dad actually raised myself and my brothers as a single father for about 8 years, and we were actually living in Sweden at that time. I was actually born in Oregon and then moved to Sweden, but he said, yeah, Mark was always drawing, just drawing little things, and he said he noticed people were always taking my drawings. Like, oh, can I have that one?
Really?
And it wasn't until he saw me do this drawing, he always loves to tell this story, I was drawing a picture of 10 angels. And I was like 6 or 7, he says. And 6 or 7, your figures tend to be kind of stick figures. And he goes, oh no, Mark's were all different outfits, different hairdos, different colored hair. Everything was just so. And I'm well, of course, they've got to be fabulous. And he goes, this kid's taking it a step beyond.
So he definitely encouraged it.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome. And then he remarried when I was 11. I had an awesome stepmom. And she encouraged it as well. There was never any like, you should be a lawyer or doctor or anything like that. It's like, well, this is what you want to do.
Yeah. So let's talk about you pursued art, but on a hobby level.
Yep.
And you actually started painting like furniture.
Yes.
And that was in California?
That was I first started painting furniture. Actually, where was I living? I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
I started refinishing furniture in California, refinishing pianos actually.
Oh, okay.
Back in the early 80s, I guess, and learned all about pianos. I can't play anything. I can barely play the CD player, but I know how to refinish them. I can take them apart and put them back together. But and then I was living in Oklahoma for a while and refinished furniture there, and then I moved to the Philadelphia area for a while and worked on really true antiques there. But I started learning about painted furniture, where a customer brought in a piece that needed the flowers that were painted on the drawers redone. And I never really thought about that, but my boss said, well, that goes to you. You're the artistic one. And it just came out fantastic. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it was becoming very popular then. Painted furniture, faux finishes, marbleizing, faux graining. Started doing all of that, and I found I just had a knack for it. It just clicked. And eventually bought my own secondhand pieces and started selling them in various stores.
Cool. Yeah, I can actually remember, I saw a chair one time that you had painted up.
I haven't done any in a while.
Yeah.
But I started out here in the Gorge selling them at Twigs.
Right. That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually my very first introduction to you.
Right.
Was through Twigs.
It's a great way to recycle too. I used to go to secondhand stores and get the furniture, or even wooden bowls, and paint them up. And they're quite durable, quite functional.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we'll talk more about how refinishing furniture and then painting furniture parlayed its way into actually becoming a full-blown artist, doing huge murals and all kinds of stuff. So, you guys, Mark Nilsson's on the show today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.